Hello there, so today we are finally going to be testing out the Twilight palette by Focallure. Yeah! Heck yeah, I'm so excited. Like, I've been waiting to try this bad boy out ever since the moment that I spotted it. I purchased this palette from AliExpress. It cost £5.82. I bought it on the 11th of the 11th in the 11th of the 11th day sale. I don't know, but anyway, I bought it in the sale and it literally just got to me on the 7th of January. So I was a few days away from hitting the Razor Dispute button and it turned up and I was like, yayo, I mean, really. So anyway, sorry, I know I'm going on a bit, but if you watch me on Snapchat, you will know that I have been just so excited about this palette coming because I just look at it. I mean, just look at it. Look. So this palette is a mix of shimmers and mattes, and I do feel like, because believe me, I've been all up in there swatching away, I do feel like the shimmers aren't all the same. Like, some of them do seem to be a little bit more like chunky than others. So I feel like there's maybe 3 different kind of formulas within the shimmers, if that makes sense. I think that the colour range is absolutely beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Jewels. It doesn't necessarily look to be like the most cohesive palette to me. Like, I don't look at this and immediately think of a look that I want to produce, but I feel like that's largely down to the fact that I'm just so overwhelmed with the beauty of the shades in here. Also, I do believe that this palette is a limited edition. It does say the limited edition. So with that in mind, I would definitely encourage you to get it sooner rather than later. If it is something that you fancy, just go for it, just do it. So yeah, this is just what the packaging looks like. It's quite basic, it's just cardboard, but I do feel like they've put a nice bit of effort into it with this kind of ombre kind of situation, and it's just called the Twilight palette. Also, if you've not seen it, I have tried another Focallure eyeshadow palette out. This one is called the Bright Luxe palette. It's very similar to the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, and I absolutely love this palette, and I think that's why I was just so super excited for the Twilight one, because the Bright Luxe palette was like my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette from AliExpress. So yeah, I'm kind of going into this one with super high expectations, but I am going to start with swatches and then I'm just going to move on to doing the eye look. Okay, so I feel like I'm just going to swatch the shimmers live and then I'll just do the mattes in my own time and just show you them, just because I don't want the video to be like so long. So let's do the shimmers together. This shade is called Need Fire, all one word, which I don't really understand that, but anyway. So this is Need Fire, and it's a beautiful kind of bronzy shade. I think it looks spectacular. That one does feel slightly chunky. The next one is Twilight Lavender. Just so beautiful. I'm not even going to try and explain what the shade colours are, because I forget that you can actually see them for yourself instead of me trying to murder the description. But this one again feels slightly different to the consistency of the first one. It feels a bit chunkier and a bit looser, but yeah. I'll be swatching this shade here. It's called Byzantine, and it's kind of like a duochrome blue / lilac. This eyeshadow is just like singing to my vagina. I mean, look at that. Look at that. So if I just swatch that one here, oh, it's just so pretty. Look at it. And it feels almost like a cream as you kind of rub it onto your skin. It kind of feels cream-like, but look at the glow. I mean, dying right now. She's dying right now in my pants, right? So the next shade is called Summon, and this one is definitely not as chunky, or it doesn't feel like as textured as the other shimmers, but this is a really kind of beautiful brown duochrome with like a green in it. It's just absolutely beautiful. I think that this kind of shade seems to be really kind of popping off all over YouTube at the moment, because yeah, it's just absolutely gorgeous. In some lights it kind of, you know, looks like a green shimmer, and then in other lights it looks more like a kind of rusty kind of browny red. Just gorgeous. Okay, so next we have Sunray. Again, this one feels chunky, and as you can see on my finger, there's feck loads of chunks on there, so That's a little bit concerning, but I'm just going to swatch it here. Okay, so I'm just going to really kind of rub in all of the chunks. And this is a beautiful kind of bronzy shade. Okay, so next we're going to go in with this sexy yellowy gold shade. It just looks so pretty. Again, this one isn't chunky. Look at that. By the way, I have been wiping my fingers, but I didn't wipe my finger. What's this called, right? Because you've got your fingertip. So what's that called? The finger length. Watch this one. I'm going to swatch up here. Why not? I mean, really, look at that. Look. And it just goes on for days. Like, I feel like it's one of those formulas where you could just kind of swatch it all the way around your wrist a million times and it just wouldn't lose its kind of opacity, because look at that. It's absolutely sensational. Look at it on my finger. Is that just like not the sexiest thing you've ever seen in your life? I mean, probably not, but you know, look at it there. I could just go downstairs and be like, hey honeys, hey. And he'd just be like, what the hell is she up to now? I mean, really. We're going to go into Ruby. And this one, again, doesn't feel quite as chunky as some of the others. It's just a beautiful kind of ruby red shade. So I'll just swatch that one here. Oh, God, look at this. These are so similar to Javia's Place shimmers. I'm just going to say it right now. I absolutely adore the Javia's Place shimmers. These are the closest that I've come to that formula. And, you know, this palette is just so affordable. By the way, I know my roots are looking yellow. I bleached my hair last night and I've just not toned it yet. So I know, very aware, my hair's looking yellow right now. I am going to tone it. It's just, I just wanted to test out the palette, you know. Oh my gosh. So this shade, I feel like could be one of my favourites. It's called Party. And yes, it looks chunky. I know it does. But just watch this. Look, I was just blown away by this. Right, so look, oh, look at it, guys. I know it's so chunky. It's just crumpling off. But look at that. Oh, holy Jesus and balls. Tickle my balls. I mean, really, what is going on here? This is just absolutely beautiful. So next we've got Sunrise, and I'm just going to swatch Copper Rose at the same time. So this one's Copper Rose and this one is Sunrise. Let's just swatch Copper Rose. Look at this. Oh, sexy Lord. And then we're going to finish off with, what was this? Sunrise. Oh, God, look. Is that just not a whole load of sexy shimmer going on my hand right now? I mean, look at it. And then on my arm, you could just look at these swatches and just faint, like right there on the spot, because they're just so fabulous. And then when you know that the palette is like £5.82, it's like, what? Well, like, how can they even afford to make shimmers as amazing as this for such a low price? Obviously, I've not swatched the mattes yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that off camera. We can have a little look, and then we're going to get straight onto the eye look, which, by the way, I'm completely overwhelmed in the best possible way about which shades to use. Like, I have no fucking idea whatsoever with the beauty that I'm faced with and all the fantastic options. So I've swatched two of the mattes so far, and they just feel so soft and like just soft and silky. Like, they don't feel dry or like chalky or like they're not even you know, powdery. Like, there's no powder that's come up so far. They just feel really, really just soft, and they feel well pressed but not dry, if that makes sense. This one looks a bit patchy. These are all of the swatches. You can't really see the last one, which is very close to my kind of skin tone, but the white one I feel has a lot of like pigment to it for a white. And generally, excluding like this one and this one, which do look a little bit patchy, I think all of the rest were nicely pigmented, smooth and creamy, and they just look good. They fill me with confidence. This is what the palette looks like after I swatched it. There was no powder whatsoever that came from any of these mattes. So I feel like they've been pressed really, really well, but not like so much to the point that you can't pick up any powder. So I'm just going to go ahead. I mean, the moment is upon us. And I just one thing to say as well about the mattes quickly. Sorry, I know you just want me to get this on my eyes, but I feel like the matte colours in here were really good choices. choices because they're all pretty neutral, but I feel like because the shimmers are just so in your face and so extra and so bold and colourful, I feel like it's nice to have these more neutral shades just to kind of keep it classy, you know, keeping it classy up in here. So okay, so I am going to begin my look today, and I'm going to go in with this shade, which is Tangerine, and I'm just going to pop that into my crease. Okay, so straight away you can see this eyeshadow has pigment to it. I do find that a lot of the time with these lighter kind of shades, it can take, you know, a few dips before you can really kind of see them there doing their sexy little thing on your crease. But this one has just kind of popped up straight away and said, hello, I'm in town, get me a cup of tea, bitch. I feel like my highlight just that I've popped in between my eyes isn't properly blended, and I can just visualize like a comment in the comment section from someone saying, I am the unblended highlight in the middle of Anwen's eyes. And I'm just like, yes, dying. Like literally, I love those comments when it says, I am the little crumb on Trisha's chin. You know, you see those wise ass comments? I think they're hilarious, actually. I'm waiting for the day when I get one. Maybe today will be the day, you know, with the unblended highlighter. Let's pretend I did it on purpose and that I wasn't just rushing. So I'm actually really, really liking this shade. It's done a really great job of just, I don't know, working itself out in my crease. I just like it. It's great. Go ahead and I'm going to apply a little bit of this amber shade. Which is kind of like it's like a browny red. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply that kind of on top of the Tangerine shade. I'm just kind of tapping it on first because I don't know how pigmented it is. So I don't just want to kind of go straight in blending. I'm just kind of tapping. I'm just kind of, you know, it's like feeling around, you know, in a dark room, feeling around for the light switch so that you don't step on your dildo. Okay, so I feel like, again, that shade has got a lot going on. It's got it going on for years. Okay, so just to build up this crease situation, and before I kind of, you know, just replicate everything on my other eye, I am just going to go in with a little pop of Rose Veil, which is kind of like a mauvey, like I'd say deeper mauvey shade, but still mauvey. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it. Again, just kind of tapping it on at first. Again, I think that is an absolutely gorgeous shade so far. All three of these mattes have been super, super easy to blend. I'm just getting really great feelings in my vagina for this one. I mean, not that I'm getting horny or anything. I just mean, you know, like the woman's instincts and everything. Like the instincts in my vagina, like my alarm in my vagina is going ding-a-ling-a-ling. Great palette, you know. Okay, so I went ahead and just replicated what I'd done on this eye, forgot which eyes, I was all confused, and I just added a little bit more of the mauvey shade to both eyes, and I also went under the eye with a bit of the mauvey shade and a bit of amber as well. So I was thinking that I may attempt doing like a spotlight eye, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Magic. So I'm going to go put Magic, which is like it's like a browny grey kind of shade. And no, it's not. What am I even talking about? It's like a cool tone brown. No idea. Look, it's that one. You tell me. What do you think? I don't know. Pop that onto the outer corner and then the inner corner of each eye, and then just bring it round. I've never had a spotlight eye that's actually pleased me at this point, so I don't know why I'm even risking it now, but you've got to play around, haven't you? I mean, that's the fun of makeup, is fecking around with it. So, okay, so did I say I was going to put Magic or Chili? I've got no idea. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put Magic. So I'm just kind of patting it on all up in there. And one of the really good tips that I learned from the drag queens is to, when you're doing your makeup, like keep looking at yourself kind of face on, because that's how everyone else is going to see you. You know, when you're doing your makeup, you're like this, or heads back or forward, you know what I mean, just at an odd angle. But what I do now when I'm doing my makeup, I always just kind of check head on, just to make sure that I'm not going off course, you know, and that it actually does look okay. And I think as well, because I've got aging skin, like wrinkles show themselves in odd places that you wouldn't expect. So I think if you can look at yourself kind of head on and be like, is it working? Okay, that's fine. Or if you think, oh my gosh, I need to take it up a bit, you could just do it. And I just think that's one of the best tips that I've ever heard in my life. I mean, really. So, okay, I need to concentrate. Oh my gosh, I hate doing the inner corner. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just avoiding the inner corner for now. I'm just sticking with the outer corner. Sticking in my comfort zone. And I'm just kind of taking this shade around, like all the way around here, so that it can join up with the inner bit of the spotlight eye, the attempt at the spotlight eye. I don't think people talk about the beauty of patting on matte eyeshadows enough. Like, everyone's always like, blend, 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 blend till you break your wrist. But I'm just like, no, just pat. A little bit of patting never did anyone any harm. Okay, so I've done like the outer bit and the inner bit of the spotlight. So next I have to pick which shimmer I'm going to pop in the middle, and it's not as easy a decision as one may imagine. So I really like the shade Party, I really like the shade Copper Rose, and I of course love this by Santine shade, which I have no idea what that means. But I think for today's look, I might go ahead with Party, you know, because I did actually really like this one when I first swatched it. So I think I'm going to go in with this one. Okay, just do it, Anwen, just do it. And oh wait, what do? I dip my finger into completely the wrong shade. I mean, really. Okay, I feel nervous. I mean, why do I feel nervous right now? Okay, so Party. It's, oh, I just trumped. Did you hear that? I hope you didn't hear that. I'm not going to edit it out, as I always say, like I've trumped many times here on my channel before, and I don't edit it because this is me. Just if you were here over right now, we were doing makeup together, I would be trumping away, you know, and I wouldn't be able to edit it out. So I'm not going to edit it out on camera because it's real life. I mean, really. So, okay, I've got it on my finger. And by the way, this shimmer is very strange. It's very chunky, and you can see like little like chunks. But when you actually blend it in, the chunks just kind of melt into your skin and just give the most beautiful metallic glow, kind of like melted metal. Beautiful. Okay, I'm just kind of blowing it a bit. Just giving my finger a blow job. I mean, really. But I didn't want like any fallout, you know, so I'm just going to just use my finger just to pat this bad boy in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, loving it. Oh my god, I'm loving this. Oh my god, it definitely is quite a chunky glitter though, but I'm not hating it right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like, it definitely is one of those glitters though that will emphasize every single line upon your eyelid. But look at that. She's loving it. Look at that. It's like a super smoky eye. And I'm living for this right now. I'm really liking it. Like, I'm glad I've womaned up and decided to go for the spotlight eye. So I'm just going back in and I'm just adding a little bit more of the darker matte just to intensify the spotlight, you know, just a little bit more, because let's face it, that shimmer has just taken center stage. Okay, so now I am faced with the very troublesome decision of replicating this on the other eye, and this is the eye that I find easiest to do. So anyway, I'll be back in a sec. So I finished my other eye and I started work on my I'm a crack addict kind of grungy, smoked out, a little bit messy looking lower lash line. So I've just used the same shade that I used at either end of my spotlight eye, just on my lower lash line, just because I wanted something that would be very dramatic. And I'm now just going to add a little bit of Rose Veil just to kind of blend it out. Okay, so this is the final look. The look is complete and I really, really love it. It's not just like one great palette. To me, it feels like millions of great palettes because you've got so many beautiful shades in here. It's not like there's just, you know, a couple of shades and you think, oh my gosh, well, I could make maybe like 5 looks with it. I just feel like the looks that you could create with this palette are never ending. And I do feel like as well, if you did want to bring in, you know, a few more different like matte transition shades, you could just kind of pair it up with a different palette. But ultimately, I think the beauty of this palette is in the shimmers. Let's face it, the shimmers just are definitely the kind of glamour dolls of the palette because they are so stunning. And I do feel like this shimmer that I put on is definitely a more chunky shimmer. I do feel like it is slightly unflattering upon my kind of more mature eyelid in that it's kind of clinging a little bit to the texture there, which a lot of shimmers do, but I can forgive it because I'm kind of loving it. And I do feel like if I'd applied a little bit of Fix Plus or used a wet brush, it probably would have, like, you know, kind of smoothed it out a lot more. But I wouldn't kind of say that's a negative. Like, I wouldn't say if you've got mature eyelids, avoid the palette, because I think that would be crime, and I would think that I would be such a bad person for telling anybody to avoid this palette because it's just simply sensational. Palette is everything that I was expecting it would be and more. Like, I didn't even think it would be as good as it is. This is definitely my new favourite eyeshadow palette that I bought on AliExpress, and possibly just my favourite eyeshadow palette. It definitely does remind me a lot of a Gervais Place palette, not only because of the playful, vibrant colours, but because of just the quality of the shimmers, the way they're so metallic and they just look like crushed metal. And also the mattes are creamy, smooth, easy to work with, not overly pigmented to the point that it's so intimidated to use them that you just don't. They're just very easy to work with and I just love it. I did put a little bit of the beautiful kind of duochrome blue shade in my inner bit, just so that it's there, you know, in my inner bit, just making it look like a little unicorn stopped by and just popped his little unicorn feet there. I don't know why I did that, but anyway, that's the kind of thing that the unicorn does. I could literally sit here and I could rave about this palette for the next month, but I think you get the idea. I absolutely love it. I would so urge you to go out and buy this. Like, obviously only buy it if you are attracted to the shades in here. If you're not attracted to these shades and you're more fan of like neutrals, don't get the palette, because obviously there's no point having a palette, however great, if you're not going to use it. But if you are like drawn, or even if you just like the colour family in this palette, get it! Like, get it! Seriously, just leave the video right now. Don't bother watching the end. It'll just be me just repeating myself. Just get the palette. It's beautiful. As I said, it's limited edition. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to be out for. I'm definitely going to be buying another one, at least, for I've got a couple of friends that just love makeup, so I'm definitely going to be buying them one each, and maybe myself another one, or another 10, I don't know. But anyway, hope that you've enjoyed it. I tried to make it as efficiently as I could, because I know that it was going to be a long video. But anyway, I'm going on now. I'm just making the video even longer by just going on. I mean, really, thank you so much for watching. If you got the palette, let me know, what did you think of it? I would really love to hear your thoughts, and we can just kind of rave about it together in some kind of mutually bombastic Twilight palette bombastic conversation. I don't know, but anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll be back soon with more. Bye.